I hope some of my knowledge and stories and memories that I shared with everybody were well enjoyed by everybody. And thank you to the fans that came out, whether it was across the pond or across the country, to celebrate and share some great memories of Owen Hart. So thank you.
What you talked about like good memories of Owen and stuff like that. What was some like? Did you learn a lot of move set and wrestling style from him? Like, is there any particular things that really stand out to you?
Yeah,
From what you developed?
for sure. He had showed us being myself, Tyson Kidd, and Teddy Hart, and his younger brother Matt. Some basics, gymnastics about doing the back flip off the top rope. And of course you could remember that when he would do it as his entrance as the Blue Blazer. I was pretty young at the time, so I could kind of do it off the second, but Teddy mastered it. I think the fastest out of all of us, and then TJ did, and then I did later on myself. He also taught me how to kip up. Yeah, it's
Nice.
It's all in the hips of momentum coming up from that. And he had taught me some amateur wrestling techniques as well when I was younger. But those memories I cherish. But it was, I wish I could have had more time spent with him. But he was always on the road, and the time I did spend with him, I certainly cherished and appreciated. I know that being off the road was we were pretty tired and beat up sometimes, especially the old WWF schedule at that time.
You shared the stage with Mark Henry, Jim Ross, and Jerry the King Lawler.
Yeah.
How important do you think that would have been to Owen? Looking down on this and being like, oh, those are the right guys. Who would you put else? Who else would you put up there to pay tribute to him?
I think that those are four of the best guys. That I don't think I don't necessarily know if you could have found any better people to have been on the stage, but the only other people that I can think of perhaps would be Brett, and anybody else you couldn't add or you couldn't subtract anybody from our group. It would be all additions, but I would suppose Brett would be the one.
What do you have any particular special memories with your dad and Owen? Just like maybe even just hanging out like at the Hart House or anything like that. Is anything stand out in particular for you?
Sure. So I heard stories about when they would be traveling on driving, and they would be in like a school zone or something, or they would be pulling up to a stop sign, and there would be like an old man that would be walking on with his walker, and Davey would be driving, and he would stop, and Owen would just from the driver's seat just honk the horn as long as he could, and then Davey would yell whatever at Owen, and then he said that one time an old man just looked over and was walking over towards Davey, and the car was, I think he had maybe just put in park, and then Owen pressed reverse, and then when he went to press on the gas, he ended up going backwards, and then Owen goes, oh, Dave, don't worry, if that old man had gone after you, I would have pulled him off you, meaning he would have pulled the old man off Davey. But those are just a couple stories, but I'd hear stories about when they'd be overseas, and it'd be the Allied Powers versus Yokozuna and Owen Hart. And Lex Luger, they would do a thing where he would do a gorilla press slam.
Yep.
And when he would go to press Owen, he would clamp his arms around his triceps so he wouldn't be able to get the full extension. And then he would slam him, and then he'd tag out, and then Davey would shoot off Owen, he'd pick him up. And then he'd do about 10 presses to Lex, and then do a flex at Lex or whatever. And then I think Lex thought it was, at first he thought maybe it was, just Owen said, oh man, Lex, your timing just wasn't very good tonight on that press. He goes, okay, we'll do it tomorrow. And then Owen would intentionally do it again, and then Lex go, I know you're messing with me. Owen goes, Lex, no, it must be on you, man. Your timing's just not that good right now. I'm not sure what it is. But I'm sure Lex would have lots of great rib stories as well. He did a lot of tag team matches with Owens.